Shirley McLean's life and career have been nothing short of extraordinary, spanning over 8 decades and filled with unforgettable roles, daring controversies, and a personal life that often made headlines. From her rise in Hollywood to her complex relationships, including a troubled bond with her daughter Sachi Parker, McLean has never shied away from the public eye. In today's video, we're diving deep into the highs and lows of her life, both on-screen and off-screen, exploring how this living legend has navigated fame, family, and personal beliefs with her unapologetic spirit. Shirley McLean has worn many hats throughout her career, from acting and dancing to singing and activism. However, it's her personal life, especially her strained relationship with her daughter Sachi Parker, that has become one of Hollywood's most infamous mother-daughter conflicts. Sachi Parker, the daughter of renowned actress Shirley McLean and businessman Steve Parker, was born in 1956. While her mother pursued a successful career in Hollywood, Sachi spent much of her childhood in Japan, raised primarily by her father. Their mother-daughter relationship has been widely regarded as strained, with Sachi publicly sharing stories of her mother's absenteeism and unconventional parenting style. Parker has openly criticized McLean, accusing her of neglect, which eventually led Parker to seek a form of revenge so deep that it shattered their relationship. McLean, quote, career spans over 8 decades, marked by both remarkable achievements and controversies. Her unapologetic approach to life, coupled with her eccentric personality, continues to make headlines. Throughout her career, Shirley McLean's public image has evolved alongside the changing tides of Hollywood. Early in her career, she was often celebrated for her unconventional style and fearlessness in taking on challenging roles. However, as her career progressed, her eccentric behavior, spiritual beliefs, and controversial comments made her both a beloved figure and a polarizing one. The media, while fascinated by her outspokenness, also scrutinized her personal relationships and lifestyle choices. This duality in public reception only seemed to fuel McLean's unrelenting spirit as she continued to live life on her terms, regardless of external criticism. But despite her professional success, not everyone in Hollywood was a fan of working with her. Some of her co-stars reportedly had trouble tolerating her behavior. Stay tuned to find out who these individuals were, and the answers might surprise you. Born in 1934 in Richmond, Virginia, Shirley McLean had a passion for performing from an early age. Her father dreamed of joining the circus, while her mother was a dedicated drama teacher. Fittingly, they named her after Shirley Temple, the famous child actress. McLean wasn't the only future star in her family. 3 years after her birth, her brother Warren Beatty was born, and the two were very close growing up. McLean has often referred to him as her kid brother and described their relationship as one of friendship and support. Still, she acknowledges that they likely competed for their parents' attention on a subconscious level. Despite their close bond in childhood, the relationship between Shirley McLean and her younger brother, Warren Beatty, became more complicated as they pursued their respective careers. While Shirley had established herself as a household name, Warren was keen to make a name for himself, leading him to change the spelling of his last name to Beatty in an attempt to create distance from Shirley's shadow. This tension culminated in what is often referred to as the McLean-Beatty Cold War, a period where they reportedly stopped speaking due to a dispute over who should be recognized as the more prominent sibling. Nevertheless, Shirley has always expressed her enduring love for Warren, describing him as the person she's loved the longest despite their ups and downs. In the summer of her senior year of high school, McLean took a chance on Broadway, and it paid off. She landed a role as a chorus girl in the musical Oklahoma. This experience solidified her love for acting, which she later called her greatest joy. After graduating high school, she fully committed to pursuing a career in show business. In 1954, McLean got the break of a lifetime. While working as an understudy in The Pajama Game, the lead actress injured her ankle, and McLean had to step in. Suddenly, she was no longer a chorus girl but the star of the show. As fate would have it, film producer H.B. Wallace was in the audience that night. Impressed by her performance, he signed McLean to a 5-year contract with Paramount Pictures. Her big screen debut came soon after in Alfred Hitchcock's The Trouble with Harry. Although the film wasn't a blockbuster, McLean's performance made a strong impression, earning her a Golden Globe for New Star of the Year. But her interactions with Hitchcock went beyond the professional. She often found herself dining with the director, captivated by his company and charm. However, what McLean didn't expect was the price of those dinners. Just a few weeks into their routine, she received a call from the head of Paramount, warning her that her contract would be torn up if she didn't stop gaining weight. The fine dining had added 25 pounds, and in the image-conscious world of Hollywood, that was simply unacceptable. Despite the pressures, McLean's career continued to soar. After appearing in several films, she earned her first Academy Award and Golden Globe nominations for Best Actress in 1958 for her role in Some Came Running. This was just the beginning of a long and illustrious career. Although she didn't win, it wasn't the last time the Academy would acknowledge her incredible acting talents. Not long after Shirley McLean made her mark in Hollywood, her younger brother, Warren Beatty, also ventured into the spotlight. However, he didn't want to build his career on his sister's fame, so he chose to use a different last name. To further distance himself, he even altered it slightly by adding an extra T, becoming Warren Beatty. He wanted to keep their relationship under wraps, but there might have been another reason for this secrecy. Once, a reporter referred to him as Shirley McLean's brother, a seemingly innocent comment that deeply upset Warren. He insisted that Shirley should be introduced as his sister instead, rather than the other way around. This demand quickly spread, leaving Shirley hurt. She chose not to address it publicly and, more significantly, stopped speaking to him. Thus began the so-called McLean-Beatty Cold War. Shirley later admitted that she and Warren had their share of ups and downs over the years, but she still considers him the person she has loved the longest and always will. Despite their bond, they never worked together because Shirley believed they wouldn't be a good team. She often worried about Warren, especially before he settled down and got married. Shirley's professional achievements were undeniable, but was her personal life equally successful? At first, it seemed so. When she was just 18 and performing in a chorus, she spotted businessman Steve Parker entering the room. From that moment, she felt her life was about to change. The couple married in 1954 and appeared to be happy together. Shirley often referred to Steve as her partner, counselor, friend, and even the love of her life. Shirley McLean had her own perspective on love and marriage. Despite her feelings for Parker, she never wanted to be confined by monogamy. "I could never live a life where I felt bound by a promise just because of momentary emotions," she once admitted. They agreed to have an open marriage, which lasted 28 years. But was everything smooth? Not exactly. At one point, Shirley discovered her husband was transferring large sums of her money to his girlfriend's account. Although she was initially shocked, she gave him the benefit of the doubt, acknowledging that he should have asked her first, but excusing it because he believed the money was going into profitable investments. Unfortunately, those ventures failed, and Shirley considered herself lucky to have learned about the situation before she was completely bankrupt. In 1956, Shirley's life changed when she became a mother. The couple welcomed their daughter, Stephanie Sachi Parker, and appeared thrilled with her arrival. However, the joy was short-lived. Raising a child is a full-time commitment, and Shirley quickly realized she wasn't prepared for it. When Sachi was 6, Shirley and Parker moved to Japan, believing that Hollywood wasn't the right place to raise a child. While Shirley had good intentions, her approach to parenting had significant flaws. She insists she was a hands-on mother while in Japan, but her career demanded difficult choices. To continue working, she eventually left Japan, leaving Sachi in Parker's care. From then on, Shirley only saw her daughter during holidays like Christmas, creating a deep rift between them. Around this time, Shirley secured the lead role in Irma la Douce following the tragic passing of Marilyn Monroe. Despite earning an Academy Award nomination for her role in Some Came Running, McLean was never a fan of the film, finding it ironic that her performance was recognized. Nevertheless, she had put in significant effort to prepare for challenging roles. For her portrayal of Irma, a Parisian sex worker, she went straight to the source. Traveling to Paris, she met with local sex workers who were more than willing to share their experiences. In fact, they insisted she watch them work with clients, and when she initially declined, they felt insulted. Reluctantly, McLean agreed and observed through a small window, proving her dedication to authenticity in her craft. However, not all of McLean's Hollywood experiences were as professional. H.B. Wallace, the man who had discovered her, seemed to believe he held some sway over her career. At one point, he even tried to kiss her, forcing himself inappropriately. Furious, McLean slapped him across the face. In an attempt to smooth things over, Wallace tried to placate her by gifting her a sports car, but this didn't erase his behavior. Worse yet, he violated contractual terms, but McLean wasn't the type to let it slide. She took him to court and won, marking a pivotal moment in challenging the old Hollywood star system. Shirley McLean's impact on Hollywood extends far beyond her performances on screen. She was a trailblazer in challenging the traditional studio system, taking bold legal action to fight for actors' rights. Her landmark lawsuit against 20th Century Fox in 1966 set a precedent in contract law, proving that no studio could mistreat or undervalue a performer without consequence. This not only helped reshape how actors were treated in the industry, but also paved the way for future generations to have more control over their careers. This wouldn't be the last time she fought back. In 1966, McLean sued 20th Century Fox for breach of contract when they backed out of a promised film project. The case escalated all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in her favor. The case became famous in employment law and showed Hollywood that Shirley McLean was not someone to be underestimated. When it came to on-set romances, Shirley McLean certainly had a type. She was drawn to dangerous and complex men. She enjoyed the challenge of figuring them out, and no one fit that mold better than Robert Mitchum. Their affair was particularly meaningful for McLean, as she had harbored a crush on Mitchum since her teenage years. Their romance felt like a dream come true for her. McLean never hesitated when pursuing her desires, even if it meant risking her professional reputation. She frequently traveled around the globe with Danny Kaye, indulging in her love for fine dining, and her relationships extended far beyond Hollywood. McLean didn't shy away from men in political power either, forming close bonds with figures like Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme, Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, and Australian Foreign Minister Andrew Peacock. Despite balancing such high-profile relationships, her career remained strong. After multiple nominations for Best Actress, she finally took home the Academy Award for her performance in Terms of Endearment, a massive hit that also earned her rave reviews for her acting. However, the film's success was shadowed by a notoriously tense off-screen relationship with her co-star, Deborah Winger, who played her daughter. Their clashes were no secret, and Winger made no effort to hide her disdain, going to extreme lengths to make her feelings known. This mirrored their on-screen dynamic, blurring the lines between fiction and reality. According to McLean, Winger made her feelings about their strained relationship known by loudly and deliberately passing gas in her direction. But Winger wasn't McLean's only difficult co-star. When she worked with Anthony Hopkins in A Change of Seasons, the two notoriously clashed. Hopkins later said that McLean was the most obnoxious woman he had ever acted alongside, describing her as overbearing and irritating. McLean's response? A calm and collected, "I don't like him either." Unsurprisingly, the two never collaborated again. Despite the conflicts, one thing no one can accuse McLean of is laziness. She has appeared in over 60 films, starred in television shows, performed on Broadway, and authored 12 books, many of which delve into her fascination with reincarnation and metaphysics. McLean's spiritual beliefs, though unconventional, are deeply personal. She believes in the concept of multiple lives, with the soul reappearing in different forms across time. McLean claims to have lived past lives in Atlantis, as a harem girl in Turkey, a Muslim gypsy in Morocco, and even as an entertainer in ancient Egypt. While her beliefs and acting career kept her busy, they came at a cost. Her daughter, Sachi Parker, often felt she had to settle for seeing her mother on the big screen, as McLean's relentless work schedule left little time for their relationship. In 1981, Sashi returned to the U.S. with hopes of reconnecting with her mother and launching her own acting career. However, Shirley McLean's response was far from what Sashi had anticipated. As Sashi's revelations about her mother's neglect began to surface, the public reaction was mixed. While some empathized with Sashi's struggles and viewed her as a victim of McLean's absentee parenting, others saw her accusations as opportunistic, especially given the timing of her autobiography's release. The media, always fascinated by Shirley's unconventional lifestyle, jumped on the story, portraying the mother-daughter rift as a modern tragedy in Hollywood. McLean, for her part, remained unapologetic, dismissing Sashi's claims as exaggerated and insisting that she had done her best given the demands of her career. This public airing of personal grievances further complicated McLean's legacy, highlighting the painful trade-offs she made in balancing fame and family. After the release of Sachi Parker's autobiography, Lucky Me, My Life with and Without My Mom, Shirley McLean, public reactions were deeply divided. Some audiences and media outlets sided with Sashi, sympathizing with her portrayal of neglect and viewing her story as a tragic account of growing up without maternal support. Others, however, were quick to defend McLean, arguing that her demanding career in Hollywood likely made it difficult to balance family life. Many believe that Sashi's decision to go public with these personal grievances was opportunistic, timed to stir controversy and capitalize on her mother's fame. The media frenzy that followed only amplified the mother-daughter conflict, turning it into one of Hollywood's most talked-about family disputes. In her candid autobiography, Lucky Me, My Life with and Without My Mom, Shirley McLean, Sashi revealed the cold reality of her non-existent relationship with her famous mother. One particularly shocking story involved a Christmas during Sashi's high school years in Europe, when both she and McLean completely forgot about each other during the holiday. Not only was McLean frequently absent from her daughter's life, but she also provided little to no financial support. Sashi had to support herself, juggling multiple jobs as a ski instructor, waitress, and au pair. She even claimed that her mother actively sabotaged her acting career. Despite these grievances, McLean dismissed her daughter's tell-all as dishonest and opportunistic, asserting that she had always wanted the best for Saki and had shown her love in the best way she could. Shirley McLean, known for her strong will, talent, and controversial views, remains unapologetically herself. Shirley McLean's legacy is one of undeniable talent, resilience, and individuality. Whether you agree with her unconventional views or not, there's no doubt that she has left a lasting mark on Hollywood and beyond. From her award-winning performances to her spiritual explorations and controversial relationships, she continues to inspire and intrigue. Thanks for joining us on this journey through her remarkable life. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more fascinating stories.